It's a 4-minute ride on the ferry to Boblo Island, but many are turned away if they try to cross uninvited. Residents and approved visitors are the only ones allowed, and recently I got to be one of them.
Hi there. Left side? Okay, thank you. Morning.
To learn about the latest on the island and find out when it might be open to the public once again.
The island is the property of the residents.
Cindy Prince is the vice president of development for Amoco, the company that owns most of the island.
The residents like their privacy, and so they don't encourage us to let a lot of visitors on the island.
Boblo holds memories for many in the community from its amusement park days. Remnants remain, like the old dock, the power station, and of course, the old dance hall. The amusement park closed in 1993. It's since been developed into a residential resort community.
This is the older part of Boblo.
For some time, it remained open to the public, but not anymore.
People wandering around the island unescorted has not worked out particularly well.
Prince says people have gotten hurt. There's been damage to property, and oddly, endangered snakes have been stolen from the island.
We're reevaluating, and we're trying to find a way to accommodate people on a private ferry and a privately owned island, but without us picking up the pieces after we've let that happen.
Behind me here is the site of the former restaurant, and the company says that it does have plans to build a new restaurant in the coming years. And once that's up, that is when the island will reopen for public access.
Prince says it's in the design stages now, but ideally would be up and running in a few years' time. That's when restaurant goers would again be allowed to use the Amoco ferry to come across. Island access is what Amherstburg teacher Rob Ferguson would love to see. He came here as a child and as an adult would bring his students on field trips to the historic sites like this wartime British blockhouse.
It was nice sharing something that I loved and really enjoy, and taking inner city kids over to see what beauty is out there in Windsor-Essex County and seeing how much they enjoyed it.
Now owned by Amoco, it was built in the 1800s to protect against military threats from Americans. In recent years, community members had worked to raise funds to restore and preserve it, but it's currently off limits to the public. Ferguson says it's a shame.
Just very, very frustrating. Very upsetting to see. I'm 47 years old, and I feel like I've grown up seeing the island deteriorate.
But the company says it's committed to preservation efforts.
And we know it needs to be available for the public, and we'll do that. We just have to make sure we do it in the best way possible.
She says construction on this side of the island is a big part of the access issue. 220 lots currently being developed on the south end. But with only 10 built so far, there's still a long way to go before the work is done with people in homes.
As soon as we get more eyes down on the south end of the island, and we can ensure that everyone who's visiting the island is safe, then it can be opened up to the public again.
She says potentially in the next 5 years, though it could take longer.
That's federal government property. It is managed by Parks Canada.
The lighthouse is another historic gem. Built in 1836, it helped sailors safely navigate the waters for decades. It's on federal land, which is technically accessible to the public, along with the White Sands Beach, also federal property.
It belongs to everyone in Canada, and so everyone is allowed to use it.
The catch is they can't use the ferry to get here. They'd need a private boat. Among residents, there's mixed opinions about public access. Norm Ross used to work on Boblo back in the day, and he collects park memorabilia from the heyday.
I mean, this is really a nice resort community, but an opportunity for people to come over and enjoy both the blockhouse and the lighthouse. And there's a lot of history here. And I'd really very much like to see it shared with everyone.
Others aren't as enthusiastic about that.
There will be public access, but right now it's nice for it just to be a retirement community, and it's kind of like a gated community the way it is right now.
Yeah.
So.
And you prefer it that way?
I do.
For some on the mainland, the pull is strong. For them, Prince says, accommodations can be made for folks with a strong desire to visit if they reach out and ask. Ferguson is skeptical that access will ever open back up again.
Unfortunately, I've seen they've been promising these things forever. I've seen the construction, the roads are built. There's no reason why they couldn't provide access in some way or form to the islands.
Though he hopes they do follow through on what they're saying, that they are committed to preserving what makes the island special, and that one day public access will become a reality once again. Katerina Georgieva, CBC News, Amherstburg.